Hello there, good evening and many thanks for joining us on Rwanda Television News tonight. We do hope you had yourselves a great and productive start to your brand new week. As always, my name is Sam Akalisa. And atop of our edition tonight, the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda has announced a drastic economic growth of 9.2%, bouncing against the COVID-19 pandemic in the aftermath. The country's statistics body says strong growth provides confidence in improving living standards and well-being of Rwandans. Shinda Teta starts us off tonight.
According to the figures depicting the performance of the first quarter of 2023, Rwanda's GDP at market prices stood at an estimated value of 3,901 billion Rwandan francs, providing a significant increase from the 3,021 billion francs recorded in the same quarter of the previous year, 2022. Figures have shown the service sector to be a leading contributing factor to the country's GDP at 44%, with agriculture and industries standing at 27% and 22% respectively. Yusuf Murangwa, the Director General of the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda, attributes this growth to the various efforts, with success recorded being an indisputable factor that reflects an improvement in the living standards of Rwandans. However, he admitted the slow growth of some sectors, including health, which continues to stand at 3% growth rate. He also acknowledged the wide range of challenges currently still faced in the respective sector.
When the economy grows, not only does it imply that Rwandans have worked, but also shows that living standards of them are also improving, showing from an increase in GDP as well. As the wholesale and retail trade sector has increased 17%, it means that Rwandans are buying products due to sustainable per capita income.
The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Uziel Ngamijimana, expressed optimism on the decline of consumer prices. He stated that consumer prices had continuously gone down from 21% in December of the previous year to 14% in May of the current financial year.
There are other progressive agriculture seasons. They give us direction of what to expect. As expected, consumer prices will decrease at least 8% if all goes as planned.
Overall, officials say that despite the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, Rwanda's economy has shown resilience and sustained growth, indicating positive advancements in the country's living standards and economic stability. Shina Teta, RTV News.
And Economic Planning, Dr. Uziel Ngamijimana, stated that one of the main reasons for the increase in the 2023-2024 budget is the acceleration of the implementation of the National Strategy for Transformation, NST1. Adam Squizera.
4 days ago, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning released more than 5 trillion Rwandan francs as the 2023-2024 national budget that will be used to accelerate social development activities. Presenting this bill to the members of the parliament in both chambers, the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Uziel Ngamijimana, stated the main reasons for the increase in this financial year's budget. The route plan for the activities to be done in this financial year's budget was chosen according to the priorities of the National Strategy for Transformation and the 2050 Vision, plus dealing with the effects of COVID-19 and the global challenges, such as Ukraine war. Comparing to the last year's budget, it was shown that this year's budget has increased by more than 250 billion Rwandan francs, whereas in the past 6 years, the budget has been reversed so that the money that was planned for the use should be added. This was mainly due to the fact that there were essential activities to be done, as explained by Professor Omar Munyaneza, the chairperson of the National Budget and Patrimony Committee. There are many things that need the national budget, but you find that the budget is insufficient. That's why we choose the priorities, among others. Various residents across the country, especially those who have been drawn to the social infrastructures, applaud for their lives transformation through this NST1 program. Now we are glad that we access water, which enables everyone to get proper hygiene and sanitation. On the other hand, there are gaps in the delivery of development activities, mainly due to the shortage of water supply and insufficient electricity distribution. Here sometimes we get dirty water. Secondly, we don't have electricity to facilitate us in various development activities, as now one that they can also provide it in our cell of Mugina. The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Uzien Ndagishimana, noted that Rwanda has done a lot in the last 7 years of the NST1 program, despite some persistent challenges they faced. I think you remember that in the last 3 years, we faced persistent challenges stemming from COVID-19 effects, global supply chain issues, which regularly shaken our plannings and economy. But what we can cheer up is that we are recovering from that, as we plan to evaluate all this NS1 next year after its end. Since 2017, when the NST1 was established, the budget has been increasing every year, whereas in 2017-2018, the national budget was over 2 trillion Rwandan francs, while in 2018-2019, the national budget reached to 2.4 trillion Rwandan francs. The budget for the 2019-2020 was 2.8 trillion, while 2020-2021, the national budget reached to over 3.2 trillion Rwandan francs. This amount increased because in 2021-2022, the national budget was 3.8 trillion Rwandan francs, whereas in 2022-2023, the budget hit 4.6 trillion Rwandan francs. As this year is marked as the last year of the NST1 program to accelerate the development of the country, where the national budget reached to 5 trillion Rwandan francs. Adams Kwizera, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Adams. Moving ahead, the African Union is calling on member states to contribute to African Medicine Agency in its operations. Adams Kwizera continues.
Affairs and Social Development Ambassador Minata Samate reiterated this on Monday in the second extraordinary session of the Conference of States Parties to the African Medicine Agency. Ambassador Samate noted that although this center will need the support from other partners, African countries are the first donors of this center, as therefore they should also take the first step in providing the funds.
Pour que l'agence soit opérationnelle, nous avons besoin d'argent et beaucoup d'argent. Et nous travaillons pour mobiliser en interne.
For the company to be able to operate, we need money, as we are doing everything we can to grow within and outside of Africa. But first and foremost, we are focusing on Africa. So let me use your microphone and call upon the countries that have signed the agreement establishing the African Medicine Agency. Since the COVID-19 pandemic has shown us that first of all, we have to solve our problems. In our culture, we say that the receiving hand is always lower than the giving one, because the giving hand is always higher. So other people's money would be more than ours, and they will dictate what we do and prevent us from achieving our goals. There is a budget that is planned at the level of the African Union. The member countries also have some requirements as usual. The partners are also the ones who are the first to find their own capacity. But it is an institution that needs the support of everyone, including self-employed people are also not doing their business for people who are not healthy.
Du soutien de tout le monde, y compris le secteur privé. Le secteur privé, vous pouvez pas faire votre business si les gens ne sont pas en bonne santé.
The treaty officially opened today in Kigali. The two-day conference was convened by the African Union Commission and the government of Rwanda to accelerate the operationalization of AMA, whereas this meeting took place after the signing of MOU last week between the African Union and the government of Rwanda to host its headquarters in Kigali. The Minister of Health, Dr. Sabine Nsanzimana, expressed their commitment of the government of Rwanda to do what is necessary to ensure an enabling environment for AMA operations as part of the collective West to support and strengthen drugs regulatory mechanisms for Africa.
Iki cyumweru ni cyumweru cyo gushyiraho ku mugaragaro noneho imikorere y'iki kigo.
This week is for setting officially the operations of this agency, especially in administrative ways. Meanwhile, the government of Rwanda itself played its part Now the remaining thing is the role of the AU member countries to gather here and begin their operations, as I also think that having such agency in our country will also create other opportunities for the local human resources.
nabo batanga umusaruro ndibwira ko nabyo bizagerwaho.
More than 30 African countries have signed the agreement for establishing the African Medicine Agency, while 3 of them ratified the agreements. Adams Kwizera, RwandaTV News.
93% of the adult population in Rwanda have access to financial services, as shown by the 2020 FinScope survey report. The country's goal is to achieve the remaining 7% financial inclusion gap by 2024. These are some of the things that will be tabled down by Rwanda in the 3-day Inclusive FinTech Forum scheduled to kick off on Tuesday. We have more. In Rwanda, there are about 458 microfinance institutions with more than 4 million clients. However, 23% of these institutions have not adopted technology methods. In institutions where technology have been adopted, clients say it has greatly improved their operations. Compared to the way things used to be, technology services made things easier, because before, even some documents would get lost. But now, you can deposit or withdraw using your phone. You can be able to monitor your account and know the debits and credits just via your phone. It helps because I no longer carry liquid money. I just transfer the money using my phone. This saves me a lot because the time I would have used to go to the bank, I use it to do other beneficial things. The executive director of the Association of Microfinance Institutions in Rwanda, Amir Jackson Kwichiriza, says that by 2024, all microfinance institutions will have access to technology. Our target as Amir is to make sure that all the microfinance institutions are able to offer technology services by next year, 2024. And we are not far from achieving it, because before this year ends, at least 11 more SACCOs will be connected, and the rest will be helped next year. Secondly, even the 2 SACCOs that have been using the traditional methods of using papers have been connected. So the next step is to upgrade their capacities. Over 2,000 people from 65 countries, including heads of state, are set to attend this summit. FinTech lead at the Rwanda Finance Limited, Leila Rwagasana, highlights Rwanda's package heading into the Inclusive FinTech Forum.
So I think one of the things that we really want to showcase is the role of Kigali International Financial Center. What are the regulation and policies that we have, or some of the initiatives that we have that attract investors. I think that's one of the things that we want to focus on and even show some of our delegates. And another thing is really one thing that we are proud of is our country is the proof of concept country. And we know that any idea, any initiative can start here, can be tested here, and can even scale from Rwanda going to other regions. And that's what we really want to, we are proud of that, and we want to use that to even attract more investors within this forum. We have many investors coming from every different parts of the country, and really want to use that, even showing what are some of the benefits we have when you join KIFC, and some of even the benefits you have for fintech companies to come and domicile in Rwanda, and that's what we are excited about.
Investors expect great outcome from this summit. We expect the forum to help us interact with our counterparts, to share ideas and learn from each other. It's also an opportunity for Rwanda to showcase our technology innovations, hence increase the opportunity to enlarge our investments. According to the FinScope 2020 survey, 93% of Rwandan adults are financially included in terms of accessing and using both formal and informal financial products. A report by the Boston Consulting Group and QED investors showed that between 2021 and 2030, the African continent will have a speed in terms of developing the use of technology in financial services. Still on this forum that is scheduled to be hosted here in Kigali, Rwanda from Tuesday 20th to 22nd, 2023, the conference will bring together entrepreneurs, investors, corporates and foundations around the world. The Chief Operations Officer at the Rwanda Finance Limited explains what the Inclusive FinTech Forum means for Rwandans and the vision of becoming the leading hub of financial technology services on the African continent and also globally.
Rwanda aims to become a high-income economy by 2050, and on top of that, an international business and financial hub. Now, when you look at the market today, especially following the latest report from McKinsey, it shows that financial services will actually be a key contributor to the development of most economies. And fintech is the fastest growing industry in financial services. So that goes to show financial technology will revolutionize, the activities and sectors we're doing and allow us to achieve the economic transformation we seek. Now, when you look at the Inclusive FinTech Forum, it is an international event that we're hosting for the first time in Rwanda. It's a collaboration, Rwanda through Kigali International Financial Center and Singapore through Elevandi, a company established by the Monetary Authority of Singapore. And the purpose for it is to convene all key stakeholders across the fintech value chain to discuss issues of financial inclusion and how to advance our fintech ecosystem.
And in this particular forum, among other things, it is expected that the challenges facing the usage of technology in financial services will be looked at, and some of the challenges will be looked at how can be addressed. It is further developed through the solutions that will be brought by fintech and to ensure that income is distributed everywhere.
I think the biggest driver or element for financial inclusion is access. Diversity and equity. And financial services ordinarily offer those opportunities, but to a limited scale. And that's the beauty or the added advantage of financial technology. They're able to offer people easier access at a cost-effective, way. And so now when you look at one of the key challenges for financial inclusion is that limited, access to, for example, funding for women or female-led fintech startups, and it's a question of how can we support, to attract more investment and capital towards female-led businesses. Beyond that as well, the number or level of the unbanked, when you look at the category of women who are unbanked, is also to a larger scale. We have a bigger gap there. So it's an opportunity again for us to say, how can we advance and accelerate and ensure that we're increasing the penetration, to access to financial services to this underserved, I would say, population.
Moving ahead to other matters, the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences has started a week dedicated to the study of science, technology and innovation, which is dedicated to promote mathematics, technology and science courses to young students as a solution to societal issues. We have more.
In this week dedicated to technology and sciences, there was a workshop for the innovative projects of the students that they have made to deal with the problems threatening the society and the country in general. Students are exhibiting these technology projects says that their aim is to be creative innovators that change people's lives.
We have conducted a research, and we have seen that when you have something in hand that you're studying about, it's very easy to remember it more than reading the books. So if you have, for example, as I said, prism binocular, when I'm studying, as I do math, physics and computer science, when I'm studying and they're asking me what is a binocular, me remembering that I was using binocular while studying, I cannot forget what a binocular is and how it.
The African Institute for Mathematical Sciences points out that visiting these young people's technological innovation projects will help them to solve the problems encountered by various innovative scientists, as Mutuimana Marie Claire explains.
It will be like visiting the industry, the schools, and empowering young women in the industry of science, technology, mathematics, and engineering, and to encourage them, also to empower them to be a solution outside, and provide us. We just provide the supportive with them according to your project that they are presenting this week.
This week is dedicated to math and science, named Week Science, where the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences, AIMS, also kicked off its campaign for encouraging girls to practice math, technology, and science courses. Adams Kwizera, RTV News.
Welcome back. To different other matters related to sports, Rwanda and the Basketball Africa League have announced a multi-year extension of the existing collaboration that will see the top basketball tournament on the African continent played at BK Arena in Kigali, including the BK playoffs and finals until the year 2028. We have more. The development was announced on Monday, June 19th, after the Basketball Africa League and the Rwanda Development Board, RDB, signed a multi-year extension of the existing collaboration. RDB CEO Claire Kamanzi said that Rwanda has greatly benefited from the first 2 years of the partnership.
Return on investment for the economy. We also have a good story there, because a net return on economy that we've seen in the first 2 years, because we don't have the numbers for this year yet, we shall have that sometime this year. But we've seen about $9.1 million contributed directly in the economy as a net income realized from the Basketball Africa.
The Basketball Africa League president, Amadou Gallo-Fall, noted that the agreement was extended thanks to the country's continued efforts to establish itself as a sports hub.
Just to say that, we've taken time to see also the country evolve, in so many ways, new infrastructures being built, and we've been here to attend many other conferences. Again, 2012, the KCC wasn't here, the Marriott Hotel wasn't here, but we saw the growth. Being here for the launch of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement and many, many other conferences. This place had established itself as a hub when it comes to MICE and when it comes to, global gatherings. And for us, it was an example, in Africa, that where we could go and showcase that it is possible to host global event with global standards, do it with African expertise, African talent, and just, again, what the BAL is about. So that's really, in terms of why we chose Rwanda.
Under the partnership, Rwanda has hosted the first ever Basketball Africa League tournament at the state-of-the-art BK Arena during the past 3 seasons from 2021 to 2023, before both parties held talks to extend their partnership. And this particular report sums up our tonight's edition. On behalf of the entire news production as well as the technical team, many thanks for being with us. And up until next time, stay safe and wishing you a great week ahead. Goodbye.